The doors to the Viridian Tea House are open once more. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. The weather here has been quite strange, but from what I understand, this is Colorado. Just a couple of days ago, it was 101 degrees, and now it's, I think, 55. So, it's nice. It's a nice break. But I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you're ready for some tea, some books, some fun stuff. Let's begin. Oh, but before I do, Lemongrass wants to say hi. Hello. I love this. I love this stuffed animal, I swear. I really do. Right, so before I begin with the book reviews, I do want to give a shout out to the Arapahoe County Library System because my boyfriend and I went to one of their book sales today at the Coble location. And if you do live in the Denver area or nearby, the book sale is still going on, and I think it concludes tomorrow. So if you're in the area and you need some books, check it out. And I think it's on their website too. But yeah, I picked up quite a number of books, and I just wanted to share a couple of them with you. One is by one of my favorite French authors, Marguerite Duras, and that is Blue Eyes, Black Hair. I'd actually read a couple of her books, but I'd never read this one before. So to find it hardback, I was like, yes, please. Another one, which I have to admit, I've never read it before. I've never read this before, but it's time to change that. A Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine L'Angle. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I hope I am. But yes, I've never read A Wrinkle in Time before, and I thought, I think it's time to change that. So I'm looking forward to reading this. And once again, a hardback, so I'm doubly excited. And then another book that I purchased today, a little backstory. I have a fascination with art history, art theft, and art crimes. I don't know, maybe in a former life I pulled off a heist. I have no idea. But this book I actually tried to read before, and I don't think I was in the right frame of mind. So when I saw it again, I thought, just purchase it and read it again. And this is called The Museum of the Missing, The High Stakes of Art Crime. So I am looking forward to rereading this and actually being in a better mindset for it. So much thanks to Arapahoe County Library for the book fair. And then I also attended the Rocky Mountain Book and Paper Fair, which was actually my first antiquarian book fair that I've ever gone to. I never really had a chance to attend one of those exhibits, but today, and it's going on, it started yesterday, and it's also today from 10 until 5. So if you live in the Denver metro or somewhere near Castle Rock, please stop by. I walked in and my mouth just dropped because I thought, oh my gosh, it's probably like thousands and thousands of dollars of books in this area. But I picked up some first editions and I'm going to show them to you. So this one is called The Library at Night. It's kind of a glossy cover, so my apologies if you can't see it, but I had heard about this book and I don't think I ever read it, or I tried to read it and once again just wasn't in the right frame of mind, but I have it now, and much thanks to the Printed Page Bookshop in Denver for having this copy. And one of my all-time favorite books, which I actually read years ago, and stupid me got rid of my copy, but it's King Rat by China Mieville. Sorry you can see the glare, but if you have heard of this author, but you've never read his work, I highly recommend starting with King Rat. This is actually the first book that I got introduced to his works, and it's interesting, and it's twisted, and it's dark, and let me just say, the Pied Piper of Hamelin looks completely different to me now, so much thanks to, and actually, let's see if I have the business card. Much thanks to Fahrenheit's Books in Denver for having this book. So if you're looking for some good deals, check them out. And they actually have a brick and mortar too, so I'll be checking them out very soon. But yeah, once again, that's the Rocky Mountain Book and Paper Fair. If you live in the area, it's going on today until 5 p.m. So stop by. All right, well, without further ado, let's get to the book review portion of this wonderful video. So the first book that I'm going to talk about, I have a love affair with this woman's work. She is one of the few authors that no matter what she puts out, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to devour it and I'm going to love it and I'm going to recommend it to everybody else. From the author who brought you The Olive Stain and Other Stories, 20 Stories, Rampart and Toulouse, Surrendered Stories with Photographs, and Surreptitiously Yours, I bring you New Orleans author and photographer and it girl, Kristin Fouquet's newest book, The Repertoire. And you can just see that's actually her on the cover. This, as soon as she announced it on, I think it was Instagram, I was like ordering, like I didn't even think about it. I love her work. I have said this over and over and over again, she is like Dorothy Parker for now. It's like, I believe that when different people go to New Orleans, they have different experiences, or when they move there, they have different experiences. This version of New Orleans, I wish I could go to, honestly. I love how she makes the city a character in all of her work. The city is a living, breathing entity. And I just cannot praise her books enough. But with The Repertoire, it's basically about and it's set in modern time, but it's a jazz singer and her French lover, and the ups and downs between the two of them. It's redemption, it's hope, it's betrayal, it's secrets that come to light once more, it's love, it's friendship, it's New Orleans, it's dirty, it's gritty, it's fantastic. If you have never read or never heard of Kristin Fouquet's work, there's still time. I cannot praise this book high enough, and I'm so glad that she has a new book. And Kristin, if you're watching this, just keep writing. Really, keep writing, please. So for The Repertoire by Kristin Fouquet of NOLA, I give her Viridian Tea House's 5 Pots of Tea. You know, and I'm going to be honest, none of her books have been, well, that was nice. None of her books have been like that. I love the characters. I love the way she breathes life into her words, where you're no longer sitting on your couch. You're in New Orleans. You're listening to Audrey sing her heart out. You're looking at Emile have a breakdown. I really think he had a mental breakdown. You smell the flowers that they smell. You can feel the cobblestone as they walk along the streets. You hear the sights, you hear the sounds, and you see the sights. And Kristin Fouquet has a certain magic to her work. And I'm so glad that with her newest book, it's still there and it's still very strong. So thank you so much for your latest work. And I'll put the links as to where you can purchase this book as well as all of her others. But yes, I'm the only problem I have with her books is that I finish them too fast. I finish them too quickly. I wish I could just savor, just slow down and just savor her work. But I devour it. It's like getting a piece of carrot cake that's just perfect. The perfect temperature, perfect amount of frosting, perfect everything. She's just Her writing is just perfect. So Kristin, thank you again. Merci beaucoup, mon ami. Just thank you. Thank you so much. So on to the next book, my moment of gushing. So, I mean, this is what happens when the temperature drops. It's like, oh, yay, I'm not sweating today. So this particular author I met at Botanicals, which just happened in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You know, I'll tell you something. There are some people that I look at them or I talk with them, one conversation, and it's like, yeah, I was supposed to talk with you. I was supposed to meet you. I was supposed to buy your book or listen to your music or befriend you or what have you. So this is a poetry book called Recipe for Time Travel in Case We Lose Each Other. And the poet's name is Kristian Macaron. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And my apologies if I didn't. But this was quite a lovely book of poetry, so much so that after I purchased it, I started reading it at my table. And already there were certain poems that they leapt off the page. So actually, I'm going to read one of them for you. Let's see, one of the smaller ones. Yeah, this one, Thera. This is one of my favorites. I know I am not empty. Life inside me is grit and blood and a light buried in sinew, which has made me the star. And it is so far inside my bones that I know what I am and where in me churns spiral and what has been taken now that my love is now monstrous. For things I never meant to bury. Tell me, Thera, how have you learned to hide civilizations within you? They call you atomic, but your center nests quiet ships, full cities, and trees take root in your skin as you shed firestones and salt water. How do you live with yourself when they name you ending, when healing is something you wait on, when you know you are monstrous, but your heart spill was never meant to cause flight? It was just that you couldn't live holding back what was in you when what was in you was new. First time I read that, I was like, oh my God. So just reading, let's see here. Is there a little synopsis? I don't remember. No, there's not really a synopsis, but these poems are about love, about time travel, history, about the future, the strange and unusual. I just, you guys know, I love poetry. And sometimes I read poetry that just kind of knocks me back. And I'm like, that's not poetry. That's someone who dipped into the waters of history and just drank from it. And then the drops that come from their mouths turn into something beautiful like this book. This was published through Game Over Books, and just like with Kristin Fouquet's work, I'll also have all of her social media as well. But this was a phenomenal and thought-provoking book of poetry, and I'm so glad that we were able to connect during that weekend. So for Recipe for Time Travel in Case We Lose Each Other, it gets Viridian Tea House's 5 Pots of Tea. For an excellent book of poetry. The only drawback, I guess, would be that it's too short. I wish there were other poems. However, she has written other books, and I look forward to reading those as well. And actually, I just found this too. This is the bookmark for Game Over Books. And on the back of it, it says, I support indie book publishers. Ain't that the truth? So thank you so much. Truly, truly enjoyed reading that poetry book. So let's see here. Let's get to the tea. So this is not really a review, but just kind of like a shout out regarding the tea that I'm drinking today. This is through Global Tea Hut, and this is from their July 2022. It's called Plum Rain, and it's one of their green teas. You can just see that there. And let's see. if you can see, but one thing that I notice, okay, two things that I notice is that the leaves, they almost look like characters for an alphabet that has yet to be discovered. I love how each leaf is just twirled and curled under and just each like their own entity in a way. But yeah. And the smell is very grassy, vegetal, almost oceanic in a way. One thing that I've noticed about Japanese green teas is that they all, well, to me, they all smell like seaweed. And that's, I know some people probably be like, why would you want a tea that kind of smells like seaweed? But to me, it makes me think of very clean and very calming in a way. I love bodies of water, so it appeals to me. But yes, thank you so much to Global Tea Hut for providing this tea. And this is actually what it looks like steeped. And I actually steeped this for about, I said 5 minutes, which that might be a minute or so too long, but I don't know, I was just kind of curious. So one thing about green tea is, as you know, all the tea comes from one plant, the Camellia sinensis, but it's the processing that determines if it's a black tea or a white tea or a green tea. The biggest thing about green tea is there's no oxidation, because once you oxidize the tea leaves, then it becomes one of the darker teas, like a black tea or a dark tea. But when you don't oxidize the leaves, then it turns into a green tea like this. And for the rare yellow teas, the only difference between yellow and green tea is an extra process known as sweltering, where it enhances the yellow aspect of the tea and reduces the green aspect of the tea. So if you ever get a chance to try yellow tea, highly, highly recommend it. I was able to try some yellow tea at the World Tea Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I remember I was like, I've never had yellow tea. This is interesting. So without further ado, in my lovely Celestial Dragon Sakura mug, let's enjoy a little bit of Plum Rain. The first thing that I notice, the velvet taste. This is a very smooth tea. This is lovely. This is actually perfect for our weather today. It's warm, it's inviting, and the taste is, it's a grassy, like I said, grassy vegetal with a hint of seaweed, but this is perfect for today. It kind of reminds me of, with the color, just a beautiful, like a pale gold. I love this color. I can't get over it. This is quite nice. I'm gonna add it to my mug. Okay, nobody saw that. It's so smooth. It's absolutely smooth, even with me steeping it at 5 minutes. Sometimes for me with green tea, I try to steep it between 2 to 3, maybe 4. 5 is stretching it, because I tend to steep my darker teas longer, personal preference. But like I said, I was experimental with Plum Rain and just doing it the 5 minutes, but it didn't harm it. It didn't make it taste bitter or I have to throw it out and start all over again. But this is a lovely cup of green tea. You know, I've had customers in the past ask me, well, which tea is better for you? The answer is they're all good for you because they all come from the same leaf. And even with the different processing. What's interesting though, I'm about to retract here for a moment. certain teas have certain benefits and properties. It's all good for you, but some people claim that white tea is better for you than green tea, and some people say that darker tea is better for you than green tea, but it's all good. Now, they may have additional properties which make it even better, but the bottom line is, if you have a nice cup of tea, you're doing your body a whole lot of good. And green tea has always been known as the really, really healthy tea, or drink matcha, just drink green tea, it's all good for you. It's all good for you. So have some tea today and know that it's going to relax you, it's going to make you focused, it's going to give you a quiet sense of being alert. And I've also said this too about the caffeine. For me, coffee does this to me in terms of the caffeine. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm drinking it. Okay, now I'm sleepy. With tea, specifically with green tea in my system, it goes like this. And it lasts longer. And I feel not shaky or like I just want to run around the house a million times, but I feel both relaxed and alert. It's kind of the same thing with meditation. You know, some people think, oh, meditation, you just fall asleep. Not necessarily so. You're focusing on your breathing. You're causing every aspect of your body to relax. But yet, in that relaxation, in that focusing on your breathing, you're actually focused. You're actually alert. So, I don't know why I just rambled like that, but, there you go. So, oh. That is lovely. That is very lovely. So, before I wrap up this video with the meditation and all the salutations, I do want to give a shout out to two small businesses that are not really so small. The first is Apothecary Fairy. Not only does she have a website, but she also has a store in Aspen Grove in Littleton, Colorado, where you can also get my teas if you don't want to go through Etsy. Excuse me, getting all choked up. I've known this woman since, oh gosh, it's been a while, since Memphis. And her products have just gotten better and better and better. So Apothecary Fairy, definitely you need to check out. Her lotions are amazing. Her soaps are amazing. I have, the calendula carrot. That one, oh my gosh, I never knew my skin could feel like that. But yes, Apothecary Fairy, very, very cool store, small business, owned by a woman, and just amazing, relaxing products. And the other it's this company that I met in Botanicals. Lovely folks from Phoenix. This is the Hearth Crystals and Botanicals. There you go. And I'll put their information on the link. But I purchased two other candles. One was Face Spirit. Oh, this glare. My apologies. And this one is Oak Moss, Patchouli, and Rosemary. And I actually keep this open in my office. This is like walking through a forest that has yet to be discovered. So lovely. And the other one that I bought is called Book Club. Book Club. And this one, I was smelling it a few minutes ago. This reminds me of it being a cold and dreary day. But yet you're excited because your book club is meeting at your house. And so there's like a roaring fire going on, and it's like 5 or 6 of you, and everybody comes in with sweaters, and everybody's bringing, tea and bread and cookies, and somebody brought, turkey or whatever. And you all sit around, and while it's snowing outside, you're staying inside with your friends, with books, and just enjoying yourselves. This is all that I'm getting from this one candle. But yes, Hearth Crystals and Botanicals. They do have a website. Like I said, I will put it on the link for the video, but amazing, amazing candles. They had another one that I wanted to purchase called, I think it was called Green Witch or something like that, but the Face Spirit won me over. All right, so let's get ready for a meditation. So if you're new to this, what I like to do, if you have your cup of tea with you, please make sure that it's near you. We're going to start with 2 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and close your eyes or softly focus on an object in front of you. Focus on your breathing for several minutes, and then I'll end it with just ending this meditation, and then we end with another breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. There's no statement to focus on. You just focus on your breathing. So without further ado, let's begin. And now to end this meditation, take 1 deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Slowly open your eyes, and we're back. Well, thanks again to Kristian Macaron and also to Kristin Fouquet, to the lovely witches of Hearth Witch Crystals and Botanicals, to Elia with Apothecary Fairy, and to also the lovely people at Global Tea Hut. Thank you so much. I truly do appreciate each and every one of you. And also to the Rocky Mountain Book and Paper Fair and to the Arapahoe County Library System. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, that's it for today and this week. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing a video next week or not because I will be going out of town. But if plans change, I'll let you know. But until then, take care of yourself and each other. Raise your teacup high. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.